Blake Lively's cast members are done staying silent. And the way that they're speaking out about her manipulation, it is not looking good for her. First, Colleen Hoover switched up, and now Brendan Senner and Isabella Farah are keeping their distance. The vibe here is more like the more this case unfolds, the more they are realizing they backed the wrong horse. And let's just say Blake's Golden Girl era has literally crumbled before our eyes. Let's get right into it.
The last time you were talking about the movie It Ends With Us, which has turned into a big major story between Blake and Justin. I'm wondering what you're thinking about that, processing it, navigating it. It doesn't involve you, but because you're in the cast, I'm wondering what you're thinking about.
Right off the bat, let's start with Brandon Senner, the guy who plays Atlas in the movie, the childhood sweetheart of Lively's character, Lily in It Ends With Us. So recently, Brandon was promoting his other project, 1923, and living his best life. When the inevitable question popped up, what was his opinion on the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni scandal? And y'all, the way that he danced around that question was literally Olympic-level dodging. He did everything but answer. He hit us with curveballs like, I just want people to remember why we made the movie line, blah, 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 blah. And people were quick to point out that when someone is dodging that hard, it's usually because they don't want to be caught slipping.
I just want people to remember why we made the movie in the first place and what it stands for, and just keeping the focus on that. Like that movie meant so much to me, and I have someone very, very close to me in my life who's gone through what Lily's going through for a long time, and I've been on the front lines helping her navigate that space. So that movie meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to her, this person in my life, and it was one of the reasons that me doing that film gave her the strength to change her life. So like,
You stay focused on that.
yeah, it means a lot to me. So it's unfortunate that things get taken away from what the ethos of that thing is, and it gets convoluted. And I just want to remind people of why that thing exists in the first place.
First off, isn't that what Justin Baldwin has been on ever since that he got the rights to the book, even at the movie premiere? When the rest of the cast, Brandon included, were rocking florals and writing for Blake instead of focusing on the movie's actual purpose. Justin stood on business, not getting banished to the basement, not the entire cast unfollowing him. None of that shook him. And now Brandon is basically just twisting Justin's words, but literally saying what Justin has been saying all along. This movie was made to be an impact, especially for the people who have been through DV.
Because none of that matters. None of it. That's not why we're in the business. That's not why the three of us are in this business, is to attend a premiere like that and be celebrated. We're in this business because we're artists and we believe in what we do, and because we want to create art that touches people's hearts and souls and can move people. And that's what we did. That's what you both did. And I believe that will follow each of us, and that truth will prevail, and that light and love will win.
So, after all of the sides were taken, all of the drama went down, and all the damage was done, now the cast has suddenly remembered the movie's purpose, the same one they ignore, and chose to help Blake push her ineffective, overpriced shampoo. Thank goodness, Gayle King decided to cut through the chase and hit the nail on the head when asked directly if he was Team Blake or Team Justin. Here's what he had to say anyways. Let's listen in, because it didn't stop there.
I would imagine at this point you're Bennett. You said I'm not in it, but are you Team Blake or Team Justin? He said, I don't speak English, Gayle.
I'm team It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
And he's Team Taylor and
Yes, and
Paramount
he's Team
Plus.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Got a little nick on his knuckle there.
No. Congratulations, Bennett. I didn't expect you to. I'm just playing. No.
There he said it. He said, I am Team It Ends With Us. That alone proves that the entire cast has jumped shy. And while they don't want to outright say that they're siding with Justin, it's probably just more politically correct for them to act neutral now, which, if we're being honest, is what they should have done from the start. But in case y'all don't see just how big of a deal, this is let me paint the full picture, and for that to rewind a bit, because this is where things get super interesting. Back in December 2024, Brandon was 10 toes deep supporting Blake. He even reposted her legal complaint against Justin Baldoni on Instagram, adding a heart emoji, and basically telling people to believe Blake at all costs. F4, wondering why the sudden change. It Ends With Us actor Brandon Senner has been supporting his co-star Blake Lively after she accused their fellow actor and director Justin Baldwin of insult and a smear campaign. For the love of God, Read This Scener wrote on his Instagram story on Wednesday while posting Lively's Saw complaint against Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios. Glenner tagged her with a heart emoji on Instagram. This is where we need to talk about how fast Hollywood will switch it up on you. At first it looked like everyone was siding with Blake. She was the bigger star, the bigger name. And when she came out with these accusations against Justin, it seemed like an easy choice voice. But now the public opinion has shifted. People are looking at the fact a lot of people, including her co-stars, have been questioning if they jumped to conclusions too soon. And that's exactly why we now have a completely different response from Brendan Spencer here, as he clearly has no more love emojis for Blake. Now, let's talk about this whole staying neutral narrative, because we all know in Hollywood neutral, it is just a fancy way of saying I'm waiting to see who wins before I pick a side. The cast members most definitely read Justin's lawsuit and are just treading carefully. Nobody is trying to mess up their bag over someone else's drama, especially when the legal jargon starts flying. But here's where it gets messy. Brandon's initial reactions have still stuck with people, so a 50% backtrack isn't going to cut it once you make a stance in the court of public opinion. There is no turning back whether you like it or not, so basically, this is going to follow him longer than imagined. Because people will always want to know why he actively participated in taking an innocent man down, and there's more, guys. Brandon Spencer is not the only one backpening. Isabella Farah, who plays young Lily in the movie, has also been noticeably quiet. She was originally following Blake's lead, but suddenly she's no longer here waving the Blake Lively flag anymore. And you all already know how this plays out. When people start quietly backing away from you, it usually means they know something that we don't. Isabella Farah has been quite the character in this scandal, one that has been named in both Blake and Justin's lawsuits. Baldwin's suit contains screenshotted text reportedly from Farah, including that she thanked Baldoni for an incredible experience on her first feature film. She allegedly wrote, "You are such a wonderful, smart, and sincere director, and you, for the rest of my life." Bond's suit continues tellingly, Faux worked with Baldoni when Lively was not on set. It was not until she spent substantial time with Lively during film promotions that Farah felt compelled to shun Baldoni in repudiation of her warm words. "I've just remembered something Farah said in an interview on the day of It Ends With Us premiere. First of all, she was literally fangirling over just being in Blake's presence. And let's not forget her entire outfit that day. The floral dress, the bracelets, the shoes, all from Blake."
I need a shot of the outfit, so I'm gonna step aside.
I need to show
The shoes.
and then the bracelets. We've got the earrings, everything. I feel it's crazy.
How do you feel? I know. Are you taking it all?
Yeah, I'm like trying to find words and I actually don't have any words. It's unreal, yeah.
First of all, you are so lily coated right now with
I know,
the
I
outfit.
had to,
Walk me, tell me the story behind the outfit.
Well, I mean, this is all pretty much Blake's like styling. She's been my stylist quite.
Not only that, Isabella had to stick by Blake, especially after Blake made it clear that she only got the role because Taylor Swift pulled strings for her, something we later found out wasn't completely true. So yeah, to be fair, Blake didn't just dangle her dragons over Baldoni. She had the entire cast, including Justin, wrapped around her little finger, playing by her rules, and they obeyed.
Taylor may have had some influence in getting you
Yes,
the role.
she did. Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I'm meant to be saying it, but I'm saying it. Yeah, she was a helpful part of the process of the audition, which I found out later after I got it, and that rocked my world. Yeah.
Well, Isabella has been hikey silent ever since Baldoni started producing evidence. Most people now believe that Brandon Spencer and the rest initially backed Blake because it was safe to support her. Nobody wants to be labeled as someone who doesn't believe a woman in these situations. But now that people are seeing that things aren't so black and white, Brandon doesn't want to go down with the ship. Another issue that's been coming up since Glenn's interview is the influence Blake had on the cast members. Clearly, it was greater than what Justin could ever do for their careers. If anything, the only reason Blake got away with so much was because even Justin knew his career could be on the line if he didn't play nice with her. That is exactly how version of the rooftop scene in the first place. Let's be for real, going against Blake meant going against Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds. And there's a reason why Blake involved them in the equation. We're talking about people who have enough power to shift and shut entire careers. Like, if Ryan decides that he is done with someone, it's for them. So when people say, oh, the cast members are just waiting to see how this plays out, what they really mean is they are being careful enough to still be in the industry's good books when the dust settles, and honestly, I can't even blame them the second you go against the machine. You better have an army behind you because Hollywood does not do loyalty. I mean, look at Diddy, come to think about it. Blake's world, remember calling Hoover is long gone? Most definitely, just realizing she overplayed her hand. Hollywood is a game of alliances. And right now it's clear that her allies are getting fewer by the day. And y'all, this is only the beginning of the fallout. It turns out that Brandon and Isabella's shifting gears paved the way for more people. Because Blake Lively's publicist Leslie Sloan also wants out on this messy lawsuit. She has made a formal request to be removed completely, of course. It's too late for that. But she has realized it's not going to end well for her. For those who missed it, here's how Leslie got caught up in this mess. It was from Baldoni that we learned that allegedly Leslie Sloan was the mastermind behind the scenes. Paul wanted to take Baldoni down. But at what cost? Because Leslie's name ended up getting dragged through the mud. And these new receipts are making her look even worse. Sources close to the situation reveal that Sloan had allegedly planned a cover-up to protect Blake from the consequences of her own actions. The lengths that she's gone to silencing whistleblowers, manipulating narratives, and even discrediting Justin Baldwin were staggering. Emails and leaked messages showed a clear attempt to frame Baldoni while keeping Blake's reputation intact. Leslie had no problem throwing anyone under the bus if it meant preserving her client's image. An anonymous insider claimed she knew exactly what she was doing, and she did it without hesitation. This was proving that the smear campaign against Justin was planned long before the New York Times dropped that disturbing article on him. Now, that's how powerful, connected, and ruthless Sloan is allegedly. But suddenly, she wants her name wiped from Baldwin's case, because teaming up with Blake might be her downfall. But unlike Sliner, Sloan is in the lawsuit, so she does not get to choose if she wants in or out. She's in. Not only is she set to testify, but she's about to blow through all the money Blake paid her just to cover her legal fees. Legal fees that, by the way, she's demanding for Justin Baldoni to pay as more evidence surfaces. The truth becomes undeniable. Baldoni had been set up, and the real masterminds, accusations, and relentless attacks on his character. He stood firm, refusing to be just another victim of Hollywood's power games. And judging by how these cast members are jumping ship, Blake's claims are looking real sus. People's opinion have shifted a great deal since Justin started exposing Blake and Sloan, and the fact that people feel fooled has even made it worse for them. To make matters worse, Blake and Ryan were now scrambling to get Justin's lawsuit thrown out. Their legal team had already filed a motion to dismiss the $400 million defamation case, hoping to dodge the heat before things even got messy. But let's be real, this move was giving desperate. No such thing could happen at this point.
Why not take a bite at the apple, see if you can get either the entire complaint or parts of it dismissed? I don't anticipate any dismissals at this point.
Blake probably has not grasped how serious things were, because she was even acting like she could pick and choose who got to question her. She straight up suggested that she might refuse to sit for a deposition if Justin's attorney Brian Friedman was involved. But newsflash, that's not how this works. Legal experts were already clowning her for this week's attempt, making it clear that no judge was about to entertain that nonsense.
Lively has no power whatsoever to determine who's going to depose her. That's kind of a silly demand, and no judge is ever going to abide by that. She has to sit for the deposition.
At this point, Blake and Ryan's entire defense has been looking shaky more, and more people are standing with Justin, especially after stories surfaced about his kindness, like letting someone stay at his home after losing everything in the recent law fires. Meanwhile, in Blake's camp, everyone is scrambling to protect their reputations by distancing themselves as far away from Blake as possible, even though the damage has already been done. And if this case moves forward like it's expected to, they are in for a rude awakening. What do y'all think? Are people finally waking up to Blake's manipulation? Or is there more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments, 'cause I need to hear what y'all think. Hit that subscribe, turn on those notifications.